So to that point, I know what I want to ask you. Um, when you were when you were when you were starting out your career in IT and cybersecurity,
Mhm.
how much time would you say you spent um, labbing?
So a little bit of I guess a difference. So again, the military gives you a lot of latitude. So when we go through our technical training, we're hands-on gear. So I had 7 months to get through not knowing anything about networks to learning basic hardware and putting my hands on it, building PCs and all that good stuff, configuring switches and routers, learning subnetting. And I used to be a computer science major way back in the day, and I dropped out. So, so math is not my strong point, but I can subnet. And then actually, like there was a capstone right at the end. Like you have to build and configure a network from scratch to include telephones, PCs, networking, sending traffic, all that stuff. So it's a little bit different, right? And anybody else in the real world would have much more time than 7 months to learn how to do it from scratch. But again, it's the benefit of Department of Defense. Like they want you to be able to do everything, and we only have a finite amount of time to do it, but we have plenty of money and bodies to throw at it. So we'll get you through. If we don't get you through, we'll get you another job. We'll get somebody else through. So, um, so for me, the hardest part, because I was always good with like, so I don't know our age difference because you look younger than me, but but the
I,
PC
I,
you're talking about, I did not have. So I had an
I,
Apple
don't, I don't
IIe.
look. I don't know if it's a good idea to make my age public. I don't know. I don't want to go through
Yeah,
the
I
whole
don't,
age
know.
discrimination thing. Like I
No.
know you and I would be good, but for anyone who might watch it, be like, oh no, he's too old. We can't now. I don't
Yeah, I'll
want to
just
give them
say,
that.
right, like black don't crack. So for me, it was Apple IIe, right? So my aunt had an Apple IIe. She was a school teacher. I used to go over there and play Carmen San Diego on the big floppy disk. And when it
Big
was not
floppy
acting right,
disk.
yeah, when it was not acting right, she would let me take it apart and tinker with it. Because she had a bunch of spare PCs and what have you. So I already kind of had that in me. But when it came to the networking and subnetting and all that stuff, that was all brand new to me. Um, so it took me a while to get there, but just like you, when I was done, I didn't feel like I could do it, but I didn't feel as confident as I thought I should feel. So I went back to the books, right? So that's why I pursued um, CCNA because I had a coworker who had his CCNA when I arrived on station, my first duty station, and he was super sharp. So I was like, I want to be like him. I want to be able to do what he does. So I started pursuing the CCNA, and then that helped me to build and to learn the things that I thought I had gaps on. And then I felt more confident because I didn't just have a CCNA. I felt like I was a CCNA, if that makes sense. I think that's a lot of people. Like you might get the certification, but you're like, but I don't have the time and experience on it, but I have the knowledge of it. And it's just a matter about filling those gaps in. Um,
I think maybe having a sense of feeling like you can truly own
yes.
what you learned and things like that.
Yeah. And like I was telling Tish, breaking it, when you break something and then you have to fix it, like that's when you get the most confidence, in my opinion, anyway. I've taken a couple production networks down.
Yeah,
Not
I saw
true.
that interview. Yeah, that was that was hilarious.
And it builds confidence though. Like obviously I have the latitude to do that. So don't, if you're out there, don't do that if you can help it. But at some point you're going to do it. It's going to happen regardless if you're in configuration management, you're in networking. I'm sure it happens in the cloud all the time. But try to break your stuff first, and that way you can quickly rebuild anything that you happen to take down in the real world. So I have plenty of experience on breaking my own network. So
Yeah, you know, with that, you now know what to do and what not to do. So no experience is ever lost, right? Like
no.
there's something that you don't want to happen, but when they do happen, you can take something from it because now you know how to better manage that
Right.
situation. So
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like, yeah, lab it up as much as you can, and you will break stuff, and then you will learn from your experience. And then when you do learn something new, the ability to teach. So like if I can learn it, do it, and then be able to explain it to someone who's never done it before,
Hmm.
then I feel the most confident. Like I think that's the highest level of achievement when it comes to whether it be IT or cybersecurity. Like when you can break it down, like so right now I teach at the collegiate level, but before then, like just being in the military, like that's what you do. So you learn something, you pass it down. You learn something new, you pass it down, or you write a standard operating procedure, or you write a TTP, tactics, techniques, and procedures. Like you are always in the learning and then passing it down phase, because you have to replace, like you have to basically build the next person up in line. Like because what could happen? Like I could have to go somewhere, have to deploy. God
Hmm.
forbid something were to happen to me. Like I need to make sure the next person's able to do it. And then that just followed me through to now where I teach. So I had somebody in my class, she was a psychology major, had nothing to do with IT, and I was teaching IT fundamentals class, and I would just have to change the way I pursued uh, the agenda, because like the people who had IT experience would absorb it quickly, but in her case, she was very intelligent, but she's just not techie. So I had to be able to make it more practical. And I think if you could do that, that's like when you see a light bulb turn on and somebody learns something new, you're just like, yeah, I got it. Like
Yeah.
I understand what I'm trying to teach because they now understand what I taught them.
Yeah, there's that factor of just being able to find a way to relate to information. And if you can relate to information, then now you then have a tool that you can use to help someone else learn how to relate to information,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Because I think a lot of times, because you hear about transferable skills, you know, for people who are coming from different careers, totally unrelated careers, or at least as how they perceive it. But those skills themselves that are transferable is what makes two contrasting careers relatable. It's the skills within.